this week, I invite us to free ourselves from another emotional wound that we all have, more or less intensely, depending on our stages of life. But this wound, the wound of rejection that we're going to talk about today, hurts really, really much when it rises, right? And my first point, and actually my first and only question I'm going to ask you in this video, the first point is, as you may know already, the fear of being rejected is really, really similar than the fear of being abandoned. So I'm going to give you some cues in this video to differentiate when it's your fear of being abandoned that is played out and when it's your fear of being rejected who is paralyzing you in relationships and project, right? So you can ask your journal, you can journal during this video, after this video, but you can also answer my question mentally during this video. Only question is like, just differentiate in what situations in your current life you are triggered by a fear of being rejected, and in what other situations you're more triggered by a fear of being abandoned. Okay? My first thing that will help you getting there is that every fears, every anxieties, every wound, they come from unmet needs. Okay? The unmet need of the fear of abandonment is the need of being valued by other people. So if you have a fear of being abandoned, you will have this need over and over to be valued, to be important, to be the priority of someone, to be special, because you don't feel special, you don't feel valued, you don't feel important. An example would be when we were at school and for example, if you were very good at school and you came back home and said, look at my grades, my dad or mom, and your parents were not emotionally available, you felt like you didn't have a big value. So you grew up thinking that your value is very small. So you will go in your relationships and seeking for validation and being important in the eye of others. The need of being valued is the fear of abandonment. For the fear of rejection is another need, is the need of being recognized for who you are. When you're triggered by a fear of rejection, is that you feel that you cannot exist for who you are. You have to please to be accepted. Accepted is the opposite of rejected. You have to please to be accepted by a group. You have this need of belonging, being recognized, belonging to a group, to a community, because probably in your first community, your family, you were not recognized for who you were. You had to be someone else, or you had to play a role. So now, this need of recognition for who you are, for what you do, for what you have, make you feel like you don't exist. And if you cannot exist for who you are, you will isolate yourself. You will avoid. You will withdraw yourself. And that leads me to the second point of how to differentiate abandonment and rejection is the social mask you will use. And this point is very important, my friend, because we cannot change the wound, but you can change the social mask we have created to not be heard again. A social mask is a set of behaviors. So in case of, if I am afraid of being abandoned, I will wear the mask of the codependent. I will give, and I don't actually receive a lot because I want to give to be loved. And at the end, people abandon us because we don't love ourselves. This is what we want to break, actually, in relation, in emotional freedom, is to break this vicious circle of I have a fear and I create the same fear again and again. So fear of abandonment, mask of codependent, I give, and I forget who I am, and I don't love myself, and I am abandoned. In the case of fear of rejection, the mask is the avoidant mask, right? I have this need of being recognized for who I am. People don't recognize me for who I am. For example, you were at school, you had a group of friends, and the friend didn't recognize who you were, so you were rejected. Or at a job interview, the recruiter didn't recognize who you were, so you were not accepted for the job. Or in the social network, you create content online and you don't have likes, or you have dislikes, or you feel like you don't exist for who you are in the eye of a community. So the social mask is isolation. I'm gonna withdraw myself. I'm gonna disappear because I don't have the right to exist for who I am. Okay? So this is the second thing. What are your unmet needs, need of being valued or need to be recognized, abandonment, rejection? What is your most painful social mask right now in your life? For example, is it more the codependent and you end up being abandoned or abandoning yourself, or you put the mask of avoidant, so because people don't recognize you and you cannot exist for who you are, right? So this is two things that you can write down in your notebook, or we can also talk together on a call, for example, or in a private message. Okay, so my only question, remember, this week is like, what is the situations in your current life and current relationships where you're triggered with abandonment issue or rejection issue, right? So if you feel triggered most by the abandonment wound, fear, anxiety, you can click on the emotional release treatment below this video and play it many times. It's a process to really release this attachment. Codependency and abandonment issue is like, I am attached to people. I need to grab, to cling, to be loved. So in this treatment, we will just relieve this grabbing thing, this attachment. We will detach, right? And honestly, again, on all my clients and all the women I meet and on myself, abandonment wound is the most common, is the most important wound to release, right? I've never met any woman who has no codependency and abandonment issue. And I will tell you something, my friend. This abandonment issue and this codependency issue is much more important to release if you're an independent woman professionally. Because we feel we are independent professionally or financially, we think that we are independent emotionally. Most of the time, this is not the truth. So especially if you're an independent woman in society or through your job or your status, focus your attention and your energy on freeing yourself from the abandonment wound. So this is the first link you will find below this video. And the the other link that I'm gonna put, that I'm gonna release this week, but maybe the second link is already below this video, is a treatment to release the rejection wound. So the rejection wound will be about recognizing yourself and allowing you to be authentic. I don't know if you have this feeling. When my rejection fear is rising, I have this inner conflict, which is it's impossible to be authentic and being loved at the same time. Tell me if that speaks to you, right? Because the fear of rejection is I have to be someone else to be recognized. I have to be the kind girl. I have to be gentle. I have to be this. I have to be that, because they will not accept me for who I am. So this is what we're gonna relax during this treatment this week. We're gonna, of course, the first step of emotional release, intelligence, is to go in the body. We go out of the head, we go back to the body, and we will trace the history of this rejection fear, rejection wound. So once we have found when it has started, we can relax the nervous system. We can have also more clarity in the mind, and we have more space for something new. So of course it's gonna depend of where you're at in your journey, but I'm gonna guide you to put, of course, more unconditional love. Even if people don't recognize me, my video, my job, I recognize myself and I'm lovable. I receive unconditional love. But you can also add some self-compassion, self-forgiveness, creativity. But you can also, and I'm going to guide you at the end of the treatment, to add some resources. Because actually the best feedback I can receive from clients and students is to feel more resourced and to feel more equipped. If the fear of abandonment or rejection or blah, blah, blah comes up in my life, I'm going to be equipped and resourced. And this is my last point for this video, because it's really, in general, whatever the stress you have, stress is resources. This is not true. This is not true. Even if your stress of being rejecting is, super big, you can tell your brain that you have the resources and you are equipped. And next time is going to be less overwhelming. And next time is going to be less overwhelming. This is what I wish for you, honestly, for me, this is peace, right? Being at peace is to detect a potential danger, a potential threat, but you say, whatever is threatening me, I have the resources. I don't need to be valued. I don't need to recognize. I value myself. I recognize myself. This is what I wish for you this week. And the very, very, very last point I want to share is that we have to remember that all the wounds we have today come from the past because they were not listened to. When we were young, we created protection mechanism to not suffer anymore as an adult. But today, as an adult, because we still deny and we still ignore those wounds, it's damaging our nervous system, it's damaging our health, but it damages our relationships. Or look in your life, look at it. Just take a minute and look at it in your life. All the wounds you haven't healed in your childhood, they have an impact on your most important relationships. And then it has an impact on your purpose. So this is the 3 levels actually of my treatment and my coachings. First, I really want you to live better with your emotions and your wound and your anxiety and your past. First, in your body, in your mind, they work together. First step. And then once you feel good with your emotions and your thoughts, I will guide you to feel very comfortable in your relationship, expressing your emotions, your needs, and etc. Because emotions and relationships are connected. And then from those very conscious and peaceful relationships, I will guide you to reach your purpose, to live your purpose, because your purpose is based on how you express your emotions, verbally, writing, online, whatever. This is where we're going together. I'm in the same boat than you. I've just studied and experienced and practiced more than you, the emotional uh, freedom. So I'm very glad and very grateful to be here to guide you on this beautiful journey of emotional freedom. I wish you a very good week. On Thursday, I'm gonna release the emotional release treatment to transmute the fear of rejection. And I will see you again next Tuesday for another live on another topic about emotional intelligence. I wish you a very good day and I see you soon. Bye bye.